free fishing day coming up this weekend at all of the parks. Kay Blake, they're going to be up there. The angler education coordinator is going to be up there beginning at 8 o'clock to celebrate Free Fishing Day. The first 50 under 18 will get a free fishing rod. And how can you not enjoy that? Get the kids up there and, drown some worms. That's the best thing you can do. Go up and drown some worms and have a good time. Alrighty. We have been talking about this grand jury, and people always get suspicious. They get crazy, they get upset, and they're just, it's nuts. Because they think, oh, well, are these some sort of, why are these people trying to do something outside the judicial system? Well, that's nothing could be further from the truth if you read the article in the Tribune. And the person who wrote that article is Doug Saunders, who is a good friend of the station. Always glad to have you come out and spend a little time with us. This is not something that's some wildcat proceed. No, it actually came, as I said on the air, from last summer's riot out at ESP. And they don't like calling it a riot. They don't. They don't like that. But that's what it was. People have to be too politically correct. As you've noticed, I'm not particularly politically correct.
I have noticed. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure.
Like my article said, I believe Judge Dubrescu really saw an opportunity to address some of the current concerns that people talk about on Facebook too frequently. We talk about it in our little circles about issues around town that we have, or maybe a complaint about some department somewhere, and it doesn't go anywhere from there. It stays in the little complaint circle of our own echo chambers or on Facebook, where we just, perpetuate rumors. And
then those people who complain about it don't go vote.
Well, there you go.
They don't, because that's how you solve it. But it all generated, as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, the amount to prosecute these 20 people who have been initially charged in this riot at ESP last year, and rather than hold individual prosecutions for each one, the state said, well, why don't you put it under a grand jury and let them handle that? And the judge said, well, we haven't had one here in a long time. And perhaps it might be a good idea for us to try it again. It's been, 20, 25 years?
Three somewhere decades? Around there. 3 decades. Yeah, and according to Judge Dubrescu, the amount of time and money that goes into trying to individually charge and indict that many individuals is just, it's ridiculous. So as far as efficiency goes, grand jury was the easy option. And then, of course, as the article stated, then he's like, well, if we have one in session, we might as well just do an accountability check on everyone in the county, make sure the government's up to snuff in all the different departments, and there's no better regulatory body to do that or investigatory body to do that than White Pine County's own citizens.
Exactly. When I came here back in 2008, God, I can't believe it was that long ago, 2008, all of our governments, county, city, they were all as transparent as mud. There was very little transparency. There were operations, in fact, back at that point in time, I believe it was around 2010, the county commission was warned, says, you cannot go into executive session to discuss this, otherwise that's going to be a problem with open meetings laws. And they said, screw you, we're doing it anyway. And they got gigged by the ethics commission. They did. So, you have to be transparent. For the most part, the city has gotten significantly better in transparency once they blew some of the idiots out of government. But yes, I say that. I will say that. But it appears that the county still hasn't learned their lesson. So we will see what happens with this with this grand jury, because and this isn't just confined to governmental, quasi-governmental agencies. People such as the railroad and many of those places are going to be looked at as well.
Yep, that'll include the hospital, the prison, the aquatic center, anything that's government or government adjacent.
So this is actually a good thing, and those people who want to say, "Well, is this some?" No, this came into being as a part of the legit system, and this is being overseen. Correct me if I'm wrong, by Judge Dubrescu.
Yes, completely overseen by him, and they appointed former District Attorney Richard Sears to advise the grand jury because of the nature of civilians, stepping into an investigatory role where, a lot of the people aren't going to have experience, and that's the point. But you still do have to be above board, do things properly through legal measures. So my understanding is that Attorney Sears is going to advise, but he won't be a part of any of the investigations or privy to any of the informations or names. He's just a guiding force. So
that's where it came from. And what the jury comes up with, all of it gets reported to Judge Dubrescu.
Yes. At the end of the day, the grand jury itself will not decide to indict. They can produce a report after they've gathered evidence and done interviews. And then once they submit that report to Dubrescu, then he would decide from there whether or not there's any merit in what he's looking at, and then decide to indict or not to from there.
And they present their recommendations, how to go, how they think it should go. At least here you have, how many? 12? Is it 12? Or how many people are involved?
17.
17 in this grand jury. So, yeah, you've got 17 different sets of eyes looking at things. The problem that you run into in this sort of thing is one set of eyes can't catch everything. You got 17 sets of eyes. Somebody go, wait a minute, what about this? And that makes it possible for things that might not be caught by an individual judge to keep this going.
Absolutely. And, not for nothing, I think that this gives people an opportunity. I highly encourage anyone who's interested or has a complaint or knows something they would like to address, attend this meeting on Wednesday the 18th at 4 p.m. at the Bristlecone. From my understanding, it's going to be the appointed secretary of the grand jury, the foreman, and Attorney Sears will all be sitting in on a panel to answer any more in-depth questions that I would not be privy to here, but kind of open things up and let people officially air their grievances.
And if you can't make it, stop by the station out here or stop by the convention center. They have forms you can fill out to pass information on to the jury. That's the most important thing. Get the information to the jury, let them look at it, let them see what the complaint is, and they'll see what happens with that. We're out of time here, but I do want to mention you can read Doug's writings in the Tribune, and he's doing some work on housing. Give me the 10-second thumbnail, because that's about time we got.
10 seconds. People struggle with housing here, whether it's price, quality, or upkeep. So I want to start with information and gather as much as possible to share with the community so that people can build solutions from there.
And we'll be talking about that. Bill O'Reilly next. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Just go away.